So after we hit the 30,000 subscriber milestone, there was a comment that you guys seemed to really agree with, and it was suggesting that I did a matchup between Stardust Crusaders and Bruno's Game. So in celebration of our 30,000 subscriber milestone, here we are with Stardust Crusaders versus Passione. But of course not all of Passione, just the group that Bruno is in charge of, which is essentially the main cast of Part 5. So very briefly, before we get into this matchup, I just wanted to go over the format of this video so you guys know I have my live battles where I just talk about a topic while playing either All-Star Battle or Eyes of Heaven live, and then I have my more completely scripted videos like Standoff or just the theories. So this is sort of a middle ground between the two. Obviously, I can collect my thoughts better because I'm not playing a game at the same time. So instead of writing out an entire script for this video, I just sort of have loose notes to follow. So like I said, sort of a middle ground between the two, more of a podcast type style video. So instead of just directly reading off a script for the entire video, it's more of just, you know, the thoughts coming to my head going into the microphone. Because if I were to do a traditional standoff style video, including all of the Stardust Crusaders and all of Bruno's Game, that would be pretty damn long because we would have to sit here explaining every single stand, but I'm sure you guys are very familiar with the Part 3 stands and the main cast from Part 5, so we'll just briefly go over their abilities, then just see who would come out on top between these two groups. Okay, so starting off with the Stardust Crusaders, just going over what characters are involved in this gang of misfits. We have Jotaro Kujo, a 17-year-old high school student that acquires one of the most powerful stands in the series when we're first in Part 3, and that is Star Platinum. So, Star Platinum, you guys all know what it does, just a pretty much extremely powerful punching ghost. And for this matchup, we're going to be leaving out its time stop ability, but to make things fair with Passione, we're going to be leaving out Gold Experience Requiem. Because if Giorno had Gold Experience Requiem, it would just be a wash, and there would be no contest, and Passione would just defeat every single Crusader very, very easily with Gold Experience Requiem, no contest. So, Jotaro, he has Star Platinum, punching ghost, punches things very hard. I'd say this is sort of like a 90% combat stand and like 10% utility, because it does have things like its enhanced eyesight that helps the team solve sort of problems that aren't directly involved with combat, but also other utility purposes like getting out of certain situations, like with the High Priestess arc where Jotaro just said, oh, we're trapped in here, let me just punch my way out of it, and it seemed to work. So Star Platinum is just a close range stand, but when you're in its range, it is extremely deadly and one of the most powerful stands so far when it comes to just pure raw physical strength. So next up we have Jotaro's Jobro Kakyoin, another 17-year-old student with Hierophant Green. And Hierophant Green is actually one of the stands that is going to help the Crusaders a lot if they were ever to go in a matchup against Passione, because Kakyoin is one of the only range stands that they have, really the only one. So Kakyoin's Emerald Splash and his Emerald Barrier and all of its abilities would actually come in a lot of, it would just be very handy to have. So Kakyoin would definitely be an essential member of this battle because, with Passione having a couple stands that are long range shooting bullets, Kakyoin's really the only member of the Crusaders that has long-range potential with Emerald Splash. But obviously, we have Avdol, who is just one of Joseph's friends. He seems to be in like his late 20s, and his stand is Magician's Red. And it has a sort of has long range with its when it shoots its inks made of fire, but it doesn't seem to travel very far. So Magician's Red very much is a close range stand, but it is an elemental stand that deals with fire, which would come in handy in a lot of utility situations, being able to melt things or use fire in any sort of survival situation. So Magician's Red is definitely a useful stand to have, but it really is one of those early stands that's like, oh, this is a fire elemental stand, and it has fire rather than other stands in the series where this is a stand that impregnates a person and creates a sub-stand made out of cells. So stands get really crazy later on. So in Part 3, the stands were very basic. So that was Magician's Red. Next up, we have Silver Chariot, which once again, they're just simple stands. Like, oh, this is a stand with a sword that's really fast. So Silver Chariot, it's extremely good at close range. It's extremely fast. And with its speed, its power is also increased as well. So, I mean, just really another hard-hitting stand with a sword, and really not much else to it there. Also, it does have the ability to take off its armor to be able to move fast enough to create after images, but other than that, Silver Chariot is really conventional and just a close-range, powerful stand. So now we have Stardust Crusaders' main utility purpose, and that is Joseph's Hermit Purple, which it does have combat utilities like we've seen, being able to use in tandem with Hamon, and also just kind of it's like a rope that Joseph can control very well, and it can like bind people and things. So Hermit Purple, I would say, is more like 80% utility, 20% combat, obviously with its telepathic abilities, being able to transmit images through televisions, even like, I think there was a part where there was just sand on the ground, and Joseph was able to use Hermit Purple to transmit an image or a video using just the sand. So very versatile ability that is able to sort of help the game out when they're trying to find things location-wise. Like with Dio, it came in handy a lot. So very much a utility purpose stand, Hermit Purple. So lastly, for the Crusaders, we have Iggy, which is sort of a Crusader, sort of not. I still consider him one. And he has the Fool, which is a stand completely made out of sand. And it's a really durable stand, but depending on the situation, you really, it needs to be specific, because we saw Iggy, of course, in Egypt, which is a perfect setting for his stand, but maybe somewhere surrounded by water wouldn't be very well of a situation for Iggy's stand. So the Fool, it has incredible durability because attacking it is just attacking sand and has all of its shape-shifting. So the Fool is one of the most versatile stands that the Crusaders have to utilize, but we all know how Iggy doesn't like to help out in really any situation unless he really has to. So Iggy's sort of a wild card for the Crusaders. Like, he might work, he might not. He might want to help you. Really, if it only involves him and his well-being, then he'll help you out. But Iggy's still a really cool character, and the Fool is still a stand that could come in handy, but we didn't really see a lot of its utility purposes. Really, it was just used for combat, being able to change into its physical manifestation and just fight, really. So just another close-range fighting stand for the Crusaders. So that is our Stardust Crusaders, and as you can see, they are pretty much made up of a lot of punching ghosts. Star Platinum close-range, Magician's Red close to medium range, Silver Chariot, another close-range stand, and Hierophant Green being their only long-range stand, being able to shoot its Emerald Splash. So now that we know what the Stardust Crusaders have, let's look at Passione. So the Crusaders were only made up of 6 members, but Passione, if you want to include Trish, which I kind of would because like halfway through part 5, she really did become part of Bruno's subsection gang that was breaking away from Passione, and I would just consider her a member of the gang. So that would leave Passione with 7 members, definitely outnumbering Stardust Crusaders 6. But let's get into the members of Passione. We have Giorno Giovanna, and this is really where Passione takes the lead from Stardust Crusaders, because Gold Experience is a healer. And part 3 didn't really, in the entire part, didn't really have a healing stand at all, no healer at all. But then once part 4 and onwards was introduced, every single part seemed to have a healer, whether it be, you know, the main JoJo or a side character. And in this case, in part 5, it was Giorno who was the healing character. But to make things even, let's just say that Giorno doesn't really have his healing abilities, because as we've seen, it does take quite a while for Giorno to heal someone, and in a full-out fight with the Stardust Crusaders, I don't think he would ever have that opportunity to heal someone, so let's leave that out. So otherwise, Gold Experience, just Gold Experience, not including Requiem, because that would just, they would just shit all over the Crusaders if they had Requiem, so just Gold Experience. It can give life to many things, it can transmit the attacks taken from the transformed objects to the person that attacked it, and also it just seems to be a punching ghost, which abilities sort of change throughout part 5, because at first it was like, oh, I give life to objects, so if I punch you a lot, it'll give you even more life and sort of accelerate your mind, so you're sort of, you know, euphoric kind of, and you're, I don't know, it was kind of vague, and the way that works, I would have to read up on it, but really it was like it just accelerated your mind, so you were thinking faster than your body, so your body couldn't keep up with your mind, and it really disoriented you, sort of like you were on drugs. So that's sort of how Gold Experience's punching worked, but then over time it just seemed like he just sort of dealt damage instead of that happening, like in the Green Day fight when he just punched Chocolatza a lot, whatever Green Day's user was. He didn't seem to have his mind accelerated at all, he just seemed to get punched a lot and got hurt. So Gold Experience, punching ghost that gives life to things, can manipulate like all sorts of plants, all sorts of animals. Really powerful stand that's very versatile. Next up, we have Bruno Bucciolati, another punching ghost, but pretty much the thing that Bruno is going to provide to this game is its pocket dimension, being able to hide, being able to take enemies by surprise. So that's what Sticky Fingers is going to be used for. Maybe even disorienting enemies with his zipper ability, maybe turning people into zippers, and maybe hiding inside a Crusader. But other than that, I think Bruno's main purpose going up against Crusaders is going to be his pocket dimensions and just his stand's sheer physical power. So next up for Passione, we have Abbacchio, which has his stand is pretty much 100% utility, although he can kind of just use his stand as an extension of his body. As we saw, it's able to stomp on things, like it stomped Luzio, Man in the Mirror's user, and just completely wrecked him. But other than that, I think its physical capabilities is just as much as Abbacchio, so it's pretty much, like I said, an extension of his own body. But other than that, Moody Blues is really a utility stand at heart, and what it does is that it is able to look into the past and recreate things that happened in the past, sort of as like holograms. So the game is able to look at a certain situation and say, what happened here? We need to, like, it's really the perfect stand for a detective if you think about it. Like, Abbacchio was a cop at one point, so if he had to stand then, I'm sure it would have came in handy. But like, you're just able to recreate the events that happened in a certain area, but it doesn't physically recreate them. It's more of like holograms, so you can just see what was happening. And it lasts up to 10 hours, I think it can go up to, maybe 24. I'm not sure on that, but it's just able to recreate past events, but not literally. So Abbacchio, not very good for combat because the stand is very slow, and it is also not able to do anything when it's playing back the past. It isn't able to fight or anything. It's sort of immobilized when it's using that ability. So that is Moody Blues, and it really is. I'm not sure how useful it would be in a straight-up fight against the Crusaders. Really, I think he would just have to use it as an extension of his own body, or maybe use it on the environment to see if there's any things in the environment that could help the game in their battle. But other than that, really, I don't think it's going to do the game that much use in this battle. So next up, we have Guido Mista, which is a stand. His stand, Sex Pistols, is something that the Crusaders have never seen before, except for, I guess, Whole Horse. But I think Sex Pistols would really do a number on the Crusaders, because you're shooting bullets, and the bullets are coming from all sorts of different directions when they go pass, 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 and Sex Pistols could really fuck up really any member of the Stardust Crusaders, because we've seen Jotaro stop bullets, but could he stop 6 bullets coming at him from all sorts of different directions? Possibly, but other than that, I think Sex Pistols with Guido Mista would have a really good time fighting against Kakyoin with his Emerald Splash. That would just be awesome, seeing Emerald Splash going one-on-one with the Sex Pistols, like colliding and stuff. But definitely to fend off Sex Pistols, one of the Crusaders' best bet is going to be Kakyoin with his Hierophant Green. But other than that, I think I could definitely see Sex Pistols also getting denied by Silver Chariot, just sort of when Silver Chariot has his armor off, just sort of deflecting the bullets with his sword. But I mean, Sex Pistols versus Joseph with Hermit Purple, or Muhammad with Magician's Red. Maybe not Magician's Red, because Magician's Red could just melt the bullets, but I mean, I guess anyone else could have a fighting chance against Sex Pistols. It would really only be Joseph that would get fucked up by him, because I mean, Hierophant Green could deflect him with Emerald Splash. Polnareff could deflect it with his sword. Jotaro, I guess to an extent, could stop the bullets. We've seen Star Platinum do a bunch of crazy shit. I'm sure he could. And Magician's Red could just melt the bullets. So now that I think about it, I guess Sex Pistols wouldn't be as useful as I thought. But next up, we have Aerosmith, which is another stand that is long range, that involves shooting bullets and also dropping bombs. So that combined with Sex Pistols at the same time, I think that could do a number on the Crusaders, because they would really have to worry about like Giorno being up close, as well as Bruno with their like just really powerful close range stance, and also Giorno doing things like with giving life to everything, and Bruno zipping around the place, hiding inside of his pocket dimensions, also with bullets coming at them from all directions with Aerosmith and Sex Pistols. I think that is what is going to do the most damage. When really Mista and Narancia can keep a safe distance from the Crusaders, because most of them have extremely close range, and as long as you're far away, really the only person that's going to give you trouble is Kakyoin. So I don't know how well the Crusaders would go up against bullet stands. But next up, we have Fugo. And I don't know if I want to include Fugo in this, because his stand is just, it's so damn powerful, and it's just obvious that Passione have better stands than the Stardust Crusaders. I mean, if Fugo used his stand in this battle, no one would win. Everyone would just die due to the Purple Haze virus. I mean, so that's another reason why Fugo was like, I can't go onwards. I don't want to betray the boss. And also, if I choose to go with you guys, I'm going to kill one of you. One of you are going to die by the hands of my stand. Or, like, say we get in a fight, I don't want to risk, like, killing my friends because my stand is so powerful and so deadly. So, if Fugo was in this fight, yeah, he could kill a lot of the Crusaders, but he would also kill a lot of his own friends and a lot of the members of Bruno's gang. I mean, I'm not sure anyone from Stardust Crusaders that could even put up a fight against the Purple Haze virus. I mean, anyone? Really? No? Their best bet is just to get a safe distance away from it, but other than that, Purple Haze is just going to completely destroy anyone in the Stardust Crusaders. So he's sort of a wild card as well, and just extremely powerful stand that really mixes things up. So next, for our last member of Passione, we have Trish Una with Spice Girl, which is just a pretty funky punching ghost that makes things soft. So not really soft, but more rubbery and stretchy. So Spice Girl, like once again, nothing really crazy, more of a utility type, like 50-50 utility and combat stand. That is just really another punching ghost for Passione to go up against Star Platinum. It would be really cool to see Star Platinum start like punching something and then be like, why aren't my punches doing anything? But it's like, oh, I made it soft, so like that's why they're not doing anything. I can imagine that. That'd be pretty cool. But other than that, Trish isn't really bringing much to the table with Spice Girl. But now that we have everything laid out and we have Passione versus the Stardust Crusaders, I think Passione is going to take this one because, I mean, they have Giorno gives life to objects. Bruno has access to pocket dimensions and can disassemble people. Abacchio really isn't doing much for the game. Mista and Arancha shooting bullets at people, and Fugo with the Purple Haze virus. But then when we look at the Crusaders, Star Platinum, close range punching ghost, very powerful. Magician's Red, Fire Elemental stand. Hermit Purple, in a fighting situation, it's really just more useful for, like I said, restricting people and just getting to different areas, sort of using it as like a grappling hook. But other than that, Hermit Purple isn't going to be doing much. The most useful people for Stardust Crusaders are going to be Hierophant Green to Kakyoin with Hierophant Green to fend off all of these bullets coming at them from Narancha and Mista, and Polnareff as well, being able to deflect the bullets with his sword. So, I mean, Iggy wouldn't have that much of a problem, like bullets getting shot at him, but it'd be really easy for Iggy himself, the stand user, to get damaged by really any of these characters. So I think the Stardust Crusaders would have a lot of trouble with Passione because Passione has the ability to just keep their distance from the Crusaders and just fight from a distance and just try to defeat them that way, which would probably be their best bet because you really don't want to be close range against Star Platinum or even like Silver Chariot. So to decide who would win between the two, I have to say Passione. They just have more members, and although some of their stands wouldn't really be able to do anything like Moody Blues, their stands are just so damn powerful, and this is even excluding Gold Experience Requiem, so Passione is just a clear winner. And also, although they are younger, like the oldest member of Passione is 21, and that's Abacchio. Everyone else is 20 and under, and although they are younger, they don't have much experience. These are straight up gangsters. Like, these people have been through a lot of shit. They all have very dramatic pasts, and they're all like just tough ass people that are they're gangsters, man. They don't put up with people's shit, and they won't take any shit, and they will just fucking punch you in the face. So Passione, although they're young, they're extremely badass gangsters when compared to sort of the misfit group of Stardust Crusaders, which does have some badass members, but nothing compared to these fabulous gangsters. So for me, I'm going to say the winner of this is Passione. I wouldn't say take this video too serious. This was just me sort of rambling, talking about each character's stand and how they would combat against each other, but just a lot of speculation went into this, and I don't know, it was just good fun. So that was Passione versus the Stardust Crusaders. I'm going to say Passione definitely wins this for their more versatile and, in a sense, more powerful stands. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. And, yeah, just a fun little video today. Sort of not scripted at all. So let me know how you guys enjoy these less scripted videos. Because I'm not going to lie, the less scripted videos are easier to make. So more content would happen if I did more videos like this. So I don't know. I feel like if I don't have a script, I just ramble a lot and the videos end up being a lot longer. But that makes sense because this video involved a shitload of stands and a shitload of memorable characters. So that was today's video. Thank you guys all for 30,000 subscribers, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video to some extent. So Crusaders versus Passione. Very informal video, just me talking about what I think would happen between the two. So just be sure to like this video if you enjoyed, or if I fought your boredom, and be sure to subscribe for more videos. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.
Do you remember the 21st night, September